So last week we started looking at a topic, and that is courtship guide. And I believe that the Lord said a lot to us last week. And one of the things he established in the last video is that the courtship stage, or your courting stage, is a stage where you lay the right foundation for your marriage. And it's very important that to lay the right foundation, you must start by planning with the plan you already have. And I told us how to get the plan of God for our union, how to get the plan of God for our lives, even now that you are with that man, now that you are with that woman. And the reason why I want you both to hear from God concerning why he has brought you both together is so that you both can know what you are entering into. You both can know that, oh, so this is the reason why the both of us are coming together. So like I said in the last video, you must plan. And I told you I'll be telling you how to plan for the plan you have received. The first way to plan for the plan you have received is to ask questions. And the reason why I said you should ask questions is to be sure that two of you are heading towards the same direction, so that you are not only the one with the vision of being a gospel minister or a preacher or a drama minister or what have you, and your wife is not really buying the idea. She's like, okay, the Lord said he's bringing us together to do this, but I'm not sure I am into that kind of thing. I'm not sure I'll be able to face crowd. I'm not sure I have that capacity to manage people, because it's not everyone that can be a pastor's wife. So you must ask questions. You must ask questions. You must ask questions around the plan you have received. Very important. You must ask questions around the plan. You can ask questions like, how do you plan to achieve what we have received? How do we plan to achieve what we have received? So if the lady is like, I don't know, because as for me, what I plan to do is that as soon as I get married, I want to pursue my master's, I want to go for my PhD, and I'm not sure I have that capacity to be a pastor's wife, because me, I don't take nonsense from people. Like, once you give me, I give you back. I'm not that kind of no. You begin to see their reaction to your question, right? If you begin to ask that question around the plan you have received, oh, what about days that I will not be at home for 1 week? Will you be able to handle that? If she's like, what's not the essence of getting married if you will not be available for 1 week? Please, I don't think I'll be able to. That is when you begin to know if they are willing to come along with you in this journey. Because marriage, for a lot of people, they think marriage is all about the lovey-dovey, oh, I love you, you love me, I can't do without you, I love you from the moon to the sun, and all of that stuff. Yes, it's good to be in love with each other. Wow, it's beautiful that two of you are so in love with each other. But guess what? There is a goal, there is a vision, there is a mission, there is a plan, there is a purpose. So for the fact that God is bringing you both together, he's not bringing you both together for fun alone. He's bringing you both together to fulfill a purpose, and you must be prepared. But if you are only prepared for the fun of marriage and not for the other aspects, which is fulfilling the assignments or the purpose for which God has brought the both of you together, I'm not sure you're ready for marriage. Because what really brings about the fun in marriage is when you both are fulfilling the purpose for which God has brought you both together. Like, even when the both of you have disagreements, you know that, okay, you both must come together and do what God has called you to do. So this is the best time for you to ask questions. I cannot come up here and begin to give you questions, but I'll just give you the glimpse of the question you can ask your partner. Back to my questions. Ask your partner what's at stake, what is stake on what the Lord has committed in your hands. The Lord has called you to be a marriage counselor. Will he be able to support that? Will he be able to accept that God has called you to be a minister? Will your husband find it comfortable if he sees you acting with another man? Or will your wife find it comfortable if she sees you acting with another woman? And you know that for Christian movies, they don't do a lot of nonsense, but at least you must call another man like my dear, honey, my love, and all of those sweet names. At least you must hug each other. At least you must hold each other hands. At least you might sleep on the same bed with that person. So is the person comfortable with that? Can that person accept that? Like, I'm just saying all of this should, in case that's your line, but I don't really know. But as the Holy Spirit has given you his plans, also yield yourself to the Holy Spirit so that it can enable you to ask the right question, because there is a huge difference between asking question and asking the right question. Most times you don't know the kind of question to ask, but when we yield ourselves to the Holy Spirit and say, Holy Spirit, this is the purpose for which you have brought us together. What kind of question do you want me to ask my partner? Should I ask them that, okay, are they willing to fully support me on this? Are they willing to fully come along with me on this? And are they willing to be committed, just like how you are committed? And are they willing to also see the vision as you see the vision, or even see beyond the vision? Is the truth. Because there are days where you don't even feel like running with the vision. But when you have the right partner who sees beyond the vision, the partner will tell you, I know what the Lord told me while we're courting, and I'm standing on that with you. Right? I can't come up here and give you questions to ask, but because I don't know what the Lord has revealed to you. It might even be business. It might be business. It might not even be ministry. It might be business. It might be your career. It can be so many things. God has different ways in which he calls us, different ways in which we function in order to just achieve one goal. In order to achieve one goal, which is to preach the gospel to every creature. So ask question. Another way to also plan, like I said last week, is that after you've asked your question, now begin to work towards the question you have asked. Don't just ask question and let it slide by. Begin to pray about it. Begin to work towards it. Begin to make research about it. Don't just say, oh, my wife said she's going to be a pastor's wife. My wife has agreed to come along with me in the ministry, and she's not making research about how to be a pastor's wife, or she's not asking questions about how to function as a pastor's wife, because the calling of a pastor's wife requires a huge sacrifice. I won't even lie to you. As a pastor's wife, your husband is ministering to the people, except if you are specifically called to function in a particular department or function as something in the church. But your work or your role as a pastor's wife is that you minister to your husband. He has ministered to the people. Now he needs someone to minister to him, because he has emotional needs, he has physical needs, he has spiritual needs. But I've seen a lot of pastors' wife who just neglects the pastor, and she also focuses too on the people, and no one is ministering to each other. No more. The husband is supposed to minister to you. Well, I need to you also minister to your husband, right? But I see the man so focused on the people, the wife to focus on the people. Preparing for this video made me realize why my mom at some point had to stop seeing people in church. She comes back home to cook for us, to attend to my dad. I never knew why she was doing that, but along the line I realized that God himself was specifically instructing her to minister to us, to minister to my dad, because at that point a lot of things were going wrong. Because anytime we come back from church, we're always doing things the way we like. Sometimes we watch television, sometimes we can be talking to church members, we can be doing things we're not supposed to do because mom is in church, dad is in church. But I'll see my mom, she comes back, and we are kind of restricted in doing some things. We cannot do those things in her presence, unlike when she's absent, right? So we were restricted, and I realized that God was using our presence, despite the fact that our dad was ministering to people, to also restrict us, hinder us from doing those things. Because as he's ministering to the people, those people is delivering, those people is setting free. Those demons are not just leaving those people, they're also coming to attack his family. So if the wife is not standing in the gap, guess what? The attack will be evident in the life of the children, will be evident in the life of the pastor or his family. And that's why when you see pastor students going wayward, it's not because they chose to go wayward, or not because the pastor isn't living a righteous life, or living a holy life, or living the life that is preaching. Yeah, but it's simply because the people that the pastor is delivering has been kept in the devil's captivity for a very long time. So the devil is angry that this man has set them free, and he comes back to attack his own family. So you see the pastor's child doing the unspeakable. You see the pastor's child doing something that is not supposed to be done, and you're wondering, why is pastor's children wayward? That's the reason. So anytime you see a pastor's child, that's not the time to condemn that pastor's child. I saw a lot of people doing that while I was growing up, and I really felt, and I was angry, right? Because why will your pastor be ministering to you and you go about by biting about his children? Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. But I'm here to tell you that you must be willing to walk around the questions that is being asked by your husband, by your wife. Do you know what it means for you to minister to your wife as a pastor? Because for you as a pastor, you drop whatever title, whatever thing that you are coming in with your church, whether everyone is kneeling down for you, everyone is respecting you, everyone is honoring you, and you come and you be with this woman, you spend time with this woman, you love up on this woman, and all of that. I've seen that a lot of people, a lot of pastors are even more committed to their people, to their church member than even their wives. And their wives is lacking love, is lacking attention, is lacking so many things. Why the church member is receiving everything, receiving the attention, receiving the love, receiving the honor, receiving the everything, and the wife she's lacking all of those things. And because she's not getting it, she cannot give it to the pastor. It's the truth. Neither can she give it to the children. So these things, there are lots of things I can talk about on this channel, but and the Lord will permit me, if the Lord is permitting me to start a series on pastor's wife, I will. If the Lord is permitting me to start a series on pastors, I will. But I've not received the go ahead. Though it's a burden on my heart, it's something I desire to do, but till I receive the go ahead, I don't just want to jump into it, because there are so many things I really wish to thrash out, especially when it comes to ministers and ministers' wife, because a lot of things are going on, a lot of things that needs to be dealt with, a lot of things, because these church members were not the members you got married to. You got married to your wife, and your first commitment is first to God, then your wife, then the people, because it must flow. Once that relationship you have with your wife is not good, then forget it. Whatever relationship you are building with the church member is just fake. It's just being an hypocrite, because you can't give what you don't have. You don't honor your wife, yet you honor your church member. You don't give your wife attention, yet you give your church member attention. So many things we need to talk about. So as I was saying, aside from asking questions around the plan that you have received from the Lord, also work around it. Read books on how to be a minister's wife, because I will tell you from experience, being a pastor's wife requires a huge sacrifice. I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here to tell you the fact. It requires a huge sacrifice. You must be willing to pay those sacrifices whenever your husband is absent. You must be willing to stand in the gap, to intercede for him, to intercede for the children, to intercede for his ministry, that he will not fall, he will not fumble, he will not falter, he will not fall into the hands of women. So many things you need to stand in the gap for. And not just that, you have to stand in the gap even when you are not getting the good side of him. You still have to stand in the gap. So many things. Just make research, ask questions. If you see pastor's wife that you know that at least to a large extent God is helping them and they are thriving in their duty, in their role as a pastor's wife, please walk up to them with humility and ask them questions like, ma, what do you think an upcoming pastor's wife should know and prepare for? Or ask questions like, ma, what are the sacrifices you paid to ensure that your husband is standing in the ministry? The Lord will lead you, really, because if I start giving you questions, it is well. So make research around the question you are asking. If you have been called to be a youth minister, make research about it, ask questions, walk around the questions you are asking. Also, make research about it. And how do you plan again? Plan for the both of you. Now you are planning for what God has called you to do. Now plan for the both of you. Now is the time for you to ask questions about each other. Now you're asking questions about the vision, the ministry, the everything. You're asking questions about what the Lord has revealed to you. Now ask questions about yourself. I will just cut it here and continue in part 3 about questions to ask each other, because that's another form of planning, right? You are planning for your own home. I remain Omolewa Mary Olubukola. God bless you and have a wonderful day.